This is not up for debate. Patrick Beverley is the most influential guard in the league. Stay to the end of the video and find out why. What is good, everybody out there? Thanks again for checking into another episode of Core Thoughts, the channel where we basically talk basketball. So I was chilling listening to the JJ Redick podcast, and he recently had Patrick Beverley on. And I've mentioned in previous videos how much I appreciate Patrick Beverley's game. I really don't think that a lot of people understand the type of value that this man has to a roster, how much value his grit and grime has to a team, to a team's identity, to a team's mentality. And I really do believe he is one of the most influential guards in the game. Now, when I heard this man come up onto the listing of another episode on the JJ Redick podcast, I had to watch it. And it got me thinking, I haven't done an individual video on this man, and this man deserves it. He deserves the attention, and he deserves your respect. So, you know what? We're going to give it to him. We're going to give this man his flowers because he deserves it. Love this man. He's like a little bulldog. Kind of mentioned that similar sort of mentality when I was talking about Patty Mills. If you haven't checked out the Patty Mills video, please go ahead and give it a watch. But I don't want to talk too much about this man. I want to get straight into the reaction. Now, the actual video itself is from Clutch Points. Now, we've checked out Clutch Points before on this channel, so please make sure you jump in over there and you give them a like and subscribe. The video itself is called Patrick Beverley's Most Confrontational Moments. The link is in the description if you want to watch it for yourself. But look, let's get straight into it and let's check out this video. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's check out Clutch Points video. Let's do it. Get at him. This man's 6'1" and he's getting in his face, irritating him. I love that. I love that. Woo, woo. The slap with the slap. Get it. Just gotta get in their ears sometime. That's it. Be confident in yourself, man. Talk it. Ooh, what happened there? Chippy. It looked like he was trying to come sneak from the back and pick out the ball. Look at that. This is irritating, man.
They just offset each other. Gallinari, free ball don't go. Griffin will get the rebound, and that should do it. Griffin will go all the way.
Oh, he's coming. That's the end of the game. It's burn time. It's a big faux pas. It's real foul. If it's a win already and it's a blowout or anything like that, you don't try and, push it out hard or try and hit anyone. I think this is where he... Oh, nah, that's it. That ain't it. I thought this was the game maybe where Russ got his knee injured. It's early in the game too. Oof. Talk to him. Talk to him. Let him know. Talk to him. The ref is like, hey, calm down. Patty Bev's like, nah, bro, I'm talking. Leave me alone, man. This is when he injured his knee, I think. Yeah, you can't come under that. Can't come under that. Look at him, still going. Still going. Man, he's just hella persistent, eh? Hella persistent.
Beverley with some words for Westbrook. He didn't like it. They started chirping, and of course, the official stepping in, issuing the technical fouls. Conley gets it right back.
Ooh, what happened there? Man, being so small like that and going at it with Embiid. Embiid's a big boy, bro. It's hard, man. It's hard. Embiid's another like troll and a half, eh? So he's up on the ball. Screen's coming. Picked at him. Diving at the ball. Hey, you want that ball, bro? That's the mental game, man. That's the mental game. He's letting him know the ball is not safe. Good hands. Gets up. He wants that ball. Yeah. Hey, you got to be a bulldog, bro.
It's the fourth time that Beverly has fouled out. And apparently he's being ushered back to the dressing room.
Still talking shit. Still talking shit, bro.
Just got hit with a tee and kicked out as well.
Oh, bro. Thank you, Clutch Points 5 video. So for those of you who are new to the channel, at the end of the reaction, I like to give my thoughts and my breakdown from the findings in the actual reaction itself. Now, I did mention at the beginning of the video that I believe Patty Bev is the most influential player in the league. And I do believe that, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. The grit and grime mentality in letting other peoples know on the opposing side, the ball is never safe. Put them on high alert. That type of pressure, that type of level of anxiety to put on someone that you can't play around, you can't make any mistakes, gets in their head and adds an extra layer of complexity that very, very few players ever add, okay? Some of the best defenders do that, okay? Some of the best people in sports history, okay? Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson used to do that, just looking at you. Looking like an animal. Just looking at you like, I'm gonna eat your children. And he does the same. He's got that same mentality. He's a little bulldog. Diving on the ball, getting after the ball, doing the dirty work, the 1%ers, taking charges, picking pockets, getting chippy. Obviously, there's a border that you got to balance out with that. Balance is always key. Boxing out, rebounds, all that stuff adds up to possessions. The more possessions that your team has equals the more opportunities to score. Now, the more opportunities your team has to score, you literally are playing a numbers game. You're literally playing a numbers game. That's one of the big reasons why I think people don't understand how much value Patrick Beverly has. It's really easy to get caught up in numbers, and especially in the NBA, a lot of people focus primarily on scoring attributes. You think about commonly, I won't say all the time, but commonly, whenever someone's considered, the greatest player in the league at the moment, a lot of the time, the heavy scorers are attributed as the most beneficial, right? But the role-playing guys and the glue guys, like Patrick Beverly, are a perfect example of where you look at it and you see what they give, and when you really boil it down, yeah, they might not necessarily convert to points on a board as much, especially if these guys are averaging, 4 to less than 10 points a game. Yeah, you might see that and be like, yeah, it's only 4 or 10 points. But the amount of box outs that are securing rebounds, either for them or for other people, the blocks, the contests, the no easy buckets, the grit grind mentality, that translates into other areas in and outside of the locker room. That translates into the training environment. It translates into how the team watches film, how the team prepares for a game, and them just being in it. That's a big, big reason why I think that Patrick Beverly is one of the most influential players in the game. The other thing is that as a defender, and I've mentioned this in, various different defensive videos. I've done a whole bunch of defensive videos, so I'm kind of going to rattle them off a lot. But the Marcus Smart one, I mentioned a lot about his mental aspect in trying to create a game within the game, trying to minimize the amount of north to south action that an offender has, and you're trying to make them go east to west for a defensive action. There's also other games that are happening besides the mind games. You know what I mean? The mind games that are taking place in the game, the diving on the ball when there's an opportunity, when the ball gets turned over from a foul or whatever, you just slapping away at it. That's mind games, bro. That's mind games. That gets in their head. That goes back to the point that I just raised a short moment ago. And that stuff really, really adds so much value. Defensively, Patrick Beverley is not anything to raise your nose at. Patrick Bev is a lockdown defender. Yes, he does foul, but realistically, when you look at some of the best defenders in the league, because of the fact that they're willing to get in front of some of the best scorers and really have that mentality like, nah, I'm coming after you, they're going to get called for fouls because, well, really, they're taking more opportunities, especially guys that are really trying to strong arm things, especially when they're trying to box out the big dudes and, they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing, holding jerseys, hooking arms, all that sort of stuff. But a lot of stuff gets unnoticed. And Patrick Beverley actually said this in the JJ Redick podcast, funnily enough. He said something along the lines, I'm, paraphrasing, but is it a foul if it doesn't get called?
My tactics, maybe I'm too physical. Maybe I'm not with the game.
You do hack. You do hack a lot. You do foul a lot.
What's the definition of hack?
Someone who fouls a lot.
And if the ref doesn't call it, that means it isn't a foul.
You've been top 3 or top 20 in the NBA 3 times in your career in total fouls. You foul.
Sometimes.
Well, that's open to, interpretation. I definitely still think a foul's a foul. Whether or not it gets called, it just brings attention to you that, you do some dirty shit and you're probably going to get called for it. Or if the officials pick up on it, they're just going to be extra heavy on you with the fouls. So you got to be smart with it. But it helps put the thought and the fear in their mind that, no easy buckets is coming. That mentality as well about, chipping away can be a little bit abrasive, but it's also one of the factors that when you think about guys like Rajon Rondo, right? When you think about guys like the OG point guard, Chris Paul, if you haven't checked out that video, please make sure you go ahead and do that. They have this influence because of the fact that they can lead their team. Sometimes to be a leader, you got to be abrasive, and sometimes you got to coddle and you got to bring people in. It's this balancing game. The same way you got to balance when you're reaching in for a steal, and sometimes you got to balance when, you're going real hard. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. At the end of the day, you put Patrick Beverley on your roster, he's going to influence your team on the court. He's going to get you steals. He's going to get you rebounds. He's going to put fear in the opposition's eyes. You put Patrick Beverley on your roster, he's going to make sure that people get held accountable. People put their work in. And the big thing, people get their act together. If they don't, there's going to be this abrasion that comes from, They don't, there's going to be this clashing of the heads, bro. And you know what? I would rather have people clash heads for a healthy reason than ego and all that sort of rubbish and whatnot that can happen in the locker room. But that to me is one of the biggest reasons why. They're the biggest reasons why I believe Patrick Beverley is the most influential player in the league. Not just as a guard, but I do think he's a highly influential player in general. If you disagree with me, jump in the comments and let me know. But hey, listen, don't just come at me with a disagreement. Tell me who you think is better and why. I want to know. Get at your boy. Let me know. This court thoughts. This is my thoughts, right? Let me know your thoughts. I'm eager to learn. On that note, guys, I want to thank you all for checking in with your boy. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure running through today's episode. Also, it's been a pleasure to see everyone's likes, subscribes, and comments. I'm really close to my first 100 subs as it stands today. So thank you so much for all those likes and subs. And also, as I mentioned in my shorts, I broke that 10K views mark. So thank you so much for your support. But I'm still pushing for that 1,000 subscribers. So show your boys some love. Help me out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Until next time, make sure you're looking after yourself. You take care and be safe. All right. Peace.